Welcome back to the Tool World podcast. I'm your host, David June. I'm here with Master Ju.
How's it
Fight
going, Mr.
on.
Ju?
Fighting.
Fighting. That's right.
So we're switching it up this week. We're going to talk about the different names of forms.
Kind of like tool world.
Form world.
Form world.
Pattern world.
Pattern worlds.
Kata world. I guess that's actually, you could have
Homsei world.
you could have like different channels. Sure.
Teiguk world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's interesting. So why don't you start off? And what kind of spurred this idea?
Yeah, that's it's interesting. I remember when I first started Taekwondo, we used to say hyung.
Not brother though.
No, brother. Forms. See, our Korean's not too good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you expect? You know, my instructor was Malaysian who didn't speak much English, and he's trying to teach me Korean.
Yeah.
And I don't, now I'm an American, born
Yeah.
and raised in America. It's
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's like some people say, can you say my name right? I says, I'm an American. What you're saying, I can't even make my mouth move like that.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, hyung. Like Chun Ji Hyung, Wan Yo Hyung, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I know it's not correct, probably. Yeah. But anyway, when I first started, I remember we used to say that, Hyung, right? And General Che came and visit.
Well, what does hyun mean?
Forms, basically
okay.
forms.
Okay.
And that had been used for many years for the different martial art. So when you're doing forms, they would say hyung, right? I just remember that when General Che came and visited, and he talked about that. He talked a little bit about that, and he says, so we say tool, and he tried to explain that hyung means form. Well, what does form really mean? Because sometimes you see people and you go, oh, you have nice form. Are you talking about a nice pattern? Or are you talking about he has nice form? Nice kid, technique,
yeah.
Form, right? And then he said, well, yeah, it's forms, but really what we do are sequence of movement, which is a pattern.
Yeah.
And that's what tool was supposed to represent.
I see.
So that does, to me, that makes a lot of sense, and it seems really clear that when we're talking about tool, we're talking about these sequence of movements and not necessarily about the form. You could say, oh, the hung is excellent, the tool was not so good. Meaning his forms wasn't nice, but he did incorrectly, he did the pattern incorrectly.
That's interesting because you could have a nice finishing product, but the way you move
Was bad.
was bad.
Right. So I think that's kind of what he was saying.
Right.
But in general, I think a lot of martial art still uses hyung. And then the WT created a new set of forms or pattern, or whatever you want to call it. Pumse, Pumse 1, Pumse 2, and I don't know a lot about it. And Teiguk, so forth, right? And is it form, or do you call it patterns, or do you call it sequence, or do you just call it Pumse? Well, they just call it Pumse, they don't say hyung.
So when was that kind of changed from hyun to tool?
Well, I definitely think it's in the early 1980s, because when General Che came to visit Grandmaster Sabri, he was doing the photographs for the encyclopedia, and that's when we got to sit down and talk to him a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was, it's been a while. That was around 1982, somewhere around there, 82, because I moved around 83, 84. I'm thinking early 80s for sure.
Or there was just no like modern texting or things. So maybe it was like the 70s and it just took 10 years to get out to see it.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know exactly when. We could go back and maybe look at it, but I remember these blue uniforms.
Yeah.
The ITF uniform.
Right.
They're polyester.
Yeah. I think you can find some of those pictures in the encyclopedia.
No, you can't.
We've talked about this before.
But I think it was developed in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I remember, oh, that's a kind of a neat uniform. Where can I get that?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've always thought about a
was
blue
only limited.
uniform or retro uniform.
The retro's not so hard, I think.
No, we could make that technically.
But the blue one would be hard. And I think they only made a few of those. They didn't make a lot of them. Very small quantity
Right.
of it. So if you have one of those, that could be a collector's item. You want to buy one of those? Someone's selling
I wonder
it
if
on-
you could- well-
Someone's selling it on eBay for $10,000.
Yeah. You could probably make them now. You would just take it to a dye house. It's
But,
possible.
but to get the actual fabric and
Oh,
stuff like
yeah,
that, that'd
yeah,
be tough.
yeah.
You know, because most of these uniforms, this poly cotton.
Oh, right. 'cause
But I
it
think that
a-
was I think it was 100% polyester, but I'm
Hmm.
not sure. Although General Chade thought that the uniform should be, I think it's 60-40,
Mm-hmm.
60% polyester, 40% cotton. And
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly to eliminate that automatic snapping sound. So if you
right.
had like a Tokaido 100% super heavyweight uniform, every time you move it went,
Right.
right? And what he was saying on the uniform was that if you can create with a 60-40 uniform and you can create that snapping sound, you've got the speed.
Right. Okay.
That's nothing to do with young tools, but
Yeah. Anyways, any
Little
final thoughts?
reminiscing.
Yeah.
any final thoughts on
Hyun too.
Hyung Tool? We just need to work on our Korean pronunciation a little bit more. I know President Che would like us to do a little bit more about that. And when I count, I can just see our Korean parents on the side. What is he saying?
Yeah.
Hana? Dual? What is that? Is he? And it's like, I'm trying. I've been trying for the last
I know. I know.
forever. But I think it's getting a little better since I've been watching a lot of Korean drama.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Ancho.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I was watching one show and he says ancho. And I'm thinking, oh, in class, that means to kneel down. But in the show, he said, sit down.
Ancho?
Ancho.
Anjo?
An-
Anjo?
Ancho.
Is it a J or SH?
I don't know.
Anyways, let us know your thoughts on Hyun, Tool, on different namings of, these patterns. Anyways, as always, don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
We'll see you guys next time.
Take one.